Drop a handful of cumin and mustard seeds into hot oil, and they explode, releasing a dense, aromatic vapor. This is a traditional Indian tadka. Every kitchen across the subcontinent relies on a masala dabba, a designated spice box, to temper food and build these complex layers of flavor. We tend to treat the contents of the masala dabba entirely as a culinary tool. If we suffer from a headache or indigestion, we reach for a manufactured synthetic pill. But for centuries, Ayurvedic practitioners prescribed these exact kitchen seeds to treat those same physical ailments. Now, modern clinical researchers are analyzing these ingredients under microscopes. This paper, published in Current Traditional Medicine, catalogs the precise pharmacological actions of common culinary spices, validating many ancient medicinal claims with hard clinical data. A manufactured pharmacy drug is an isolated, highly controlled dose. A pinch of spice is a raw, unquantified dose of biologically active chemicals. Your kitchen counter operates as a functioning, if imprecise, mini pharmacy. To understand exactly how these home remedies work in the body, we have to stop looking at these seeds and powders as food. At the molecular level, plants produce biological compounds called secondary metabolites. They evolved these specific chemicals as defense mechanisms against pests, diseases, and harsh environments. When ingested by humans, those same defensive compounds happen to trigger powerful biological responses in our own cells. Proving the effectiveness of a grandmother's recipe requires us to examine the specific chemical anatomy of the ingredients she uses. Looking at the turmeric row in this chemical table, you see a complex structural formula, curcumin. Researchers observe curcumin actively targeting and reducing the cellular inflammation that drives chronic conditions like arthritis, inflammatory bowel disease, and myocardial infarction. There is a biological hurdle. If you ingest pure turmeric, your body struggles to absorb it. Curcumin has incredibly poor bioavailability, meaning it passes directly through your digestive system without entering your bloodstream. Further down this same table, we find black pepper and its active alkaloid compound, piperine. Piperine operates as a bioenhancer. It temporarily relaxes the gut wall and slows down the liver's metabolism. When ingested together, piperine creates a pathway for the curcumin molecules to bypass the intestinal barrier and enter the blood. The traditional Indian practice of brewing turmeric milk with a pinch of black pepper serves a highly specific biological function. It is a scientifically optimized drug delivery system. Across North Africa and Asia, generations of people have prescribed a tea made of boiled cumin seeds to treat stomach aches and cramps. Looking back at our chemical table, we can identify the primary volatile aldehyde in cumin, cuminaldehyde. When it hits your digestive tract, cuminaldehyde triggers your gallbladder to increase bile secretion, which directly accelerates the breakdown of fats and speeds up digestion. This chart illustrates lab data from diabetic mice. The control group excreted high levels of protein in their urine. The group treated with cuminaldehyde showed dramatically lower urine protein levels. In separate trials, cumin extract reduced blood glucose comparably to standard synthetic anti-diabetic medication. The clinical data proves that cumin actively regulates metabolic functions at a cellular level, providing benefits far beyond immediate gastric relief. Cardamom pods have been chewed for 4,000 years. Ancient Egyptians and Greeks used them specifically to clean their teeth and keep their breath fresh. Clinical testing on rats now shows that cardamom extract alone can prevent stomach ulcers or shrink the size of existing ulcers by at least 50%. It achieves this tissue protection by neutralizing Helicobacter pylori, the bacterial pathogen responsible for causing the vast majority of ulcers in the digestive tract. Chewing cardamom after a meal operates as a targeted, localized strike against corrosive bacteria. There is an obvious limitation to the kitchen pharmacy. Eating raw plant matter provides an inconsistent dose of these chemicals. The concentration of active compounds will vary wildly from one harvest to the next. This table details marketed nutraceuticals, a sector where the industry isolates exact phytochemicals into controlled, concentrated doses. By extracting specific molecules and combining them, like putting curcumin inside an omega-3 fatty acid softgel, these formulations bridge the gap between ancient agriculture and modern medical precision. These ingredients were once agricultural commodities that built empires and carved out early maritime trade routes across Asia. Today, they provide the foundational molecules for targeted lab research. The traditional Indian spices sitting on a pantry shelf are raw biotherapies. The everyday act of preparing a tadka or brewing masala chai is, at its core, an applied science.